They said I'd lose my home over the snow, and I had no one left to turn to. As long as I'm here, you won't lose it. Not today, not ever. I didn't break any laws. I just wanted to help someone who couldn't afford the help. The house sat on a snowy cul-de-sac, its roof sagging under heavy drifts. The shingles cracked in spots, the driveway buried deep in white, and ice dangled like daggers from the gutters. Snow piled high against the door, making it impossible to open fully, and the whole place looked forsaken in the winter chill. But it wasn't. Inside lived an elderly man alone with no relatives close by. His hands shook as he explained that the city had issued a notice. Clear the snow within a week or face steep fines and potential eviction. He had no strength to shovel it himself, no funds to pay for removal, and no energy left to battle the cold. He murmured that he lay awake most nights, fearing what the deadline would bring. When I saw his weary face, I couldn't turn my back. I grabbed my shovel from the car and started digging, the crunch of snow breaking the neighborhood's hush. But as I cleared the path, I pondered the injustice that a man could spend decades in this house, pay his taxes, build memories, and now risk everything because he couldn't fight the weather alone. Midway through, a city truck pulled up, siren wailing unnecessarily in the calm. The inspector climbed out and shouted for me to halt, claiming I was unauthorized, that ordinances prohibited unlicensed work, and that I lacked proper clearance. I told him the homeowner had begged for aid, that this was charity, not commerce, aimed at preserving his last refuge. The inspector folded his arms, glaring sternly, insisting regulations were absolute, and continuing meant penalties for us both. I glanced at the man peering from his window, his fists clenched in silent plea. His voice quavered as he called, "Please let her finish, please." For an instant, the inspector wavered. I gripped my shovel firmly, my tone calm. I'm not violating any rule by assisting him. No payment involved. No harm done. Just shoveling snow so he keeps his home. At last, the inspector grumbled faintly, returned to his truck and drove off, leaving only the scrape of my shovel and the man's quiet sighs. When I was done, the driveway gleamed bare, the roof relieved of its burden, and the house felt secure once more. He shuffled out, eyes misty, and whispered, "You saved me." In that instant, I realized I hadn't merely moved snow. I'd renewed pride, faith, and comfort for someone convinced he'd been overlooked by the world. And I believe God placed me there deliberately, at the perfect moment to act rightly. If you believe kindness is God's work through our hands, type Amen.